Hello. If you're thinking about moving to Fairbanks, here's what you need to know about the winter. People will say things like, oh, it's a dry cold, or it's cold, but you get used to it. And these things are true. I'd say it's fair, but I'd also say that that's not all there is, and I want to unpack it with you today so you can feel prepared and confident if you're moving to Fairbanks, Alaska. Ta-da! I'll tell you, this winter, right now it's February when I'm filming this. This winter, December, it was 40 degrees below zero for like a month. Now that's like some record-breaking cold, but on average, even when I first visited Fairbanks in like 2020, it was like 20 degrees below zero on average, and I'd say it's pretty regular winter temperature. You'll probably feel like you're indoors a lot. Even if you're outside, it can feel dark all the time, which it is. At least, we do fireworks on the 21st of December, which is a whole lot of fun. It's our winter solstice festival, and we do it to celebrate the fact that the days are getting longer again. But rest assured, you might get some cabin fever, you might need a happy light, some vitamin D, this kind of stuff, because shoot dog, it's dark for a long time. So while you're dressing in layers, how do you take care of the house? Well, the first thing is a heating system. Let's make a list here. There's all different kinds of heating systems. You saw earlier, maybe, depending on where my interviews get posted, that everybody likes something different. But you can have a wood stove, which is pretty traditional. You don't want a house that's just gonna run off of wood stove though, because what happens when you're not there for a week? Also, you can't really finance that with any sort of normal loan program. You can have things like a Toyo stove, which is pretty neat. It is the successor to what's called a monitor stove, which is like an older model. They're pretty cool. The monitors are kind of dying out, unfortunately. Tougher and tougher to find someone to service them, although I got a guy, Toyo Dave, in my phone. So if you need a monitor serviced, Toyo Dave will do it. Also, more recently, shouts out Emily, the Toyo lady. She was at the home show last year. She's going to be there again, and she is an awesome gal who can maybe help you out. I'm not going to say that for her. There's also forced air heating systems, pretty traditional. You can have a boiler that does like baseboard heat. I don't know, are there baseboards around? There's no baseboards around me in this shot, but baseboards exist. Alternatively, you can also have like a boiler that's doing in-floor heat or radiant floor heat. And what's nice about the baseboard heat and the radiant floor heat is that it's probably using the energy a bit more efficiently in terms of the heat conversion, although it does and can certainly take a little bit longer to crank up in temperature, as opposed to like the forced air. You just kind of dial it up and then like, poof, now you're rocking. So that's the difference. Other places that you have to be looking out for winter include your plumbing. I would say it's nearly like a rite of passage. At least for me, I'm an investor. I own multiple properties, and sometimes you can't control what people are doing outside of the place where you live. So surely something's going to happen. You might have a frozen pipe every once in a while. You just want to catch it early, and you want to make sure that if you do end up having that, either you have a trusted person who knows what they're doing, or a licensed bonded professional, which is my realtor recommendation, to come and help you get that fixed. Because the tools are really expensive, it's unlikely that you're going to use them a whole bunch, and you just don't know what you don't know. So that's that. The last thing, humorously enough, is our snow load. When you get a home inspection from a licensed engineer, they should make a comment when they look in the attic space of a home, as long as there is one. They're going to look to make sure that the roof can handle the snow load for Fairbanks. And maybe it's like 40 pounds per square foot or something like that. I just made that number up, but I think it is right. Ask Tim Henry, Arctic Engineering. He's got it. And the humorous story about this is that maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, one of our local lumber supply companies did not shovel their roof, and it's like a very large commercial building, and then the roof collapsed. And it's like building store, roof collapse, kind of ironic. But I was there just last week, and they had guys snow blowing off the roof. So just know your roof, know what it's capable of, and make sure that you don't let it get too far. If you need to, you might shovel off the roof. If you have a metal roof, you definitely want to be careful. Probably not going up there, just getting like a snow rake and pulling it down. So there's some fun facts. Here's what you need to know. The insulation in your attic, as well as the thickness of the walls, are two significant contributing factors to the energy efficiency of a property. It can get rated on a scale, and you can have it tested for energy efficiency. There are even some loan programs that will incentivize with lower interest rates for buyers who are buying homes that have better energy ratings, which is really cool. Also, in terms of efficiency, are things like windows and doors, making sure that you don't have air gaps in places. And if you have older windows, or maybe they have wooden frames, you definitely want to make sure that you're monitoring the condensation around those things and keeping the humidity at a level in the house where you're not going to have moisture coming out from everywhere. That's going to ruin things and make it moldy. That's not great. Also, keep in mind, things like heating fuel may become more expensive in the wintertime as demand increases. And then also, you're going to be plugging a vehicle in. If you have one, if it's a diesel vehicle, you're going to be plugging it in all the time. And if it's just a regular gasoline vehicle, then you're probably still going to be having it plugged in for anywhere from, I'd say, maybe 2 to 4 hours a day. And that's per vehicle. Unless you have a garage, so could be an extra incentive to look for something that fits your needs a little better. So, how can you actually enjoy and thrive in winter Fairbanks? I'll tell you what, the first thing is listen to the people who have been here for a long time. Things like vitamin D pills, things like a happy light that turn on at a certain time of day and give your brain and your mind and your eyes UV exposure, huge helps. Also, I find getting outside every day, even if it's just for 5-10 minutes, probably longer would be better. Realistically, I'm not always doing it. Just anything, if you can get by a window, and if you can't get by a window, just get outside. I don't know, take a phone call, go for a drive during lunch, whatever you can do to get your face in front of any sort of daylight, 10 out of 10 recommend. Also, you want to check out some of our local spots in the community. Recent places that come to mind as awesome cafes are places like House of the Rising Bun, Little Owl, as well as Gather, Fairbanks downtown. And events are always happening in Fairbanks. You can check out my other page, which is Hometown Hustlers, where we're exploring Fairbanks, Alaska, one person at a time, and continuing to share kind of what's going on in the community with events like our Fairbanks Insider or Fairbanks Top 5, which is, we say 5 events that's happening. So go find out what's going on. We're doing it all the time, and I'd love to see more people engage with the community continually. When I came up here, people used to say, oh, there's nothing to do in Fairbanks, or there's nothing to do in the winter. Total BS. Don't buy it. Live your own life and make your own rules. That's what I say. Other things are like First Fridays. Every first Friday of the month, there will be an art exhibit or event in a couple different locations, and that's a lot of fun that people really enjoy. Now, if you're looking for a house, it's wintertime. I've told you all this information. How can you do this wisely? Let me tell you. During showings, here's what to look for. The first, I think the biggest thing is ice damming. It's one of those things where if you're seeing a chunk of ice on a roof and it's like a foot height of just ice, just be aware that when that water, that has to go somewhere. It's going to melt and then it's going to run off the roof, and so you want to make sure at least that the roof is not too old, and that the inspector gets a chance to look in the attic to see if there are any signs of leakage throughout that property. Super vital, super important. Another thing I think is thinking about how well the road is maintained when you're driving there, because if the road seems like it's all right, fantastic. If you're on Peridot out in North Pole, I'm going to have to pray for you, because you're going to be going through vehicles and suspensions once a winter. So that's just personal take. And once a summer also. God bless that road. The last thing I'd say, I did mention frost on the windows earlier. I think that's a good thing to look out for, as well as just, if there's a heat trace on the water line, if that's relevant, and, making sure that if it's on city utilities, that everything looks good, their meters have been serviced regularly. These kind of things that an inspector will call out on a home inspection, but also just, as a cautious Fairbanks winter buyer, it's good to be aware of. Also, while you're shopping, you should be looking at seller disclosures that your realtor should be providing to you. I think it's essential. It's the seller's disclosure of all known material facts of the property. Now, this can and typically does include the fuel usage that they're estimated, but if you can get some more accurate records from a utility authorization, something that has, electric history for the property, as well as fuel delivery, if the seller has been ordering fuel from a local delivery company, as well as water consumption, if that's available, those are some things that I recommend you try to get your hands on so that you can see throughout the course of a couple years what kind of consumption that property has and what that cost could be for you as you estimate not only what your mortgage is going to cost, but also what that cost of living is going to be. So that's what you can expect if you're coming to Fairbanks in the winter. That's what I think it's important for you to know. And if this is something that you're considering, what I'd love for you to do is reach out to me, get connected with somebody at the Majors Realty team, because we'd love to serve you, get you answers on what you need to know, hear where you're coming from, find out what your timeline is, and how we can serve you best now and in the future as you're coming up here. Comment where you're moving from, and I'll make sure we get in touch with you, set some great expectations to tell you just how good Fairbanks can be. What keeps you in Fairbanks?
I've been here for 51 years and I'm not ready to move yet. My wife is working and I'm retired. Okay. But I like it here. There are great things like this. Yeah. And it's easy to get to things.
And you know anything about New York?
Yeah, my parents are both from New York City. I've been there a number of times. I really like it. Yeah. I'm not ready to move there. No. But I like to go visit and spend a week. Yeah. There's so much to do. People aren't as friendly as here. There are more of them, but they don't talk to each other very easily the way we do here. Yeah. It's one thing I like here is how friendly and open the people are. Yeah. And how interesting they are. I mean, I know people who've done extraordinary things in Alaska. In New York, there are wonderful things. I love to go to the opera, the symphony, but getting there, and it's expensive and hard to get to. I mean, it can be. If you live right in Manhattan, it's great. If you live out of the city, it's more difficult to get to things.
If somebody is thinking about moving to Fairbanks, what piece of advice would you give them, especially in the winter?
Be prepared for a big change. If you're an open person looking for something different, you may find it here. If not, you may not want to be here. Yeah. They say people love it or hate it, so I know plenty who've come and taken off, and then plenty who've gotten bitten by the bug and want to stay here.
You're going to learn the name of the show now. Okay. It's called Hometown Hustlers. Ooh. Hi, I'm Dan Kiernan. It's your boy DK here with Hometown Hustlers. Who are you?
Tanya Klukas. Mindy O'Neill.
It's a pleasure to meet you both. Thank you.
Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
We're here at the Yukon Quest today. What keeps you in Fairbanks?
I like the people in my little town. Yeah. It's a funky, quirky little place, and it has some interesting people. Otherwise, I'd move. People who gripe about living here, why do they stick around? It's like, I like it.
But Tanya is one of the first people I ever met in Fairbanks.
It's true.
So
it's true.
I can say she's keeping me around.
Wow.
Oh, that's kind. Yeah. I met Mindy. I think it was her second day in Fairbanks. Yeah.
Wow.
We entered into the Alaska State Barbecue.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. So I went and ate the food. She actually prepared the food with another
Were you a judge?
one of our friends. No, I have always wanted
that would have been a conflict of interest
She's
if you.
usually a judge, though. And lots of
other
things around town.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've always wanted. You have to take a class to be a barbecue judge. And I'm all about learning things. So I'm ready to be a barbecue judge someday.
Wow, you're ready to serve. Excellent.
I am. And be served.
What keeps you in Fairbanks?
Definitely the people and the quirkiness of all of us.
There is some quirk.
Everyone's so weird, I feel normal.
More accepted. It's like you're amongst your own.
Yeah, and then there's just this can-do attitude and, this real raw spirit. And I love it. It's small enough that we know each other and we can have, kind of quarrels, but big enough that we do have some autonomy and we can go out into the middle of the wilderness at any time.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, this is my last question here. If somebody was thinking about coming to Fairbanks and moving here and beginning a life here, especially in the winter, what is relevant for them to know? What do you think?
See, I'm one of those people where I don't do outdoorsy winter things.
Do you have socks on today?
For once, I actually do.
You actually do?
You don't be wearing socks normally, Tanya?
Yeah,
this is the first time ever you're seeing it.
Yeah. Anyway, I like the winter. I don't think that it's oppressively dark. I think it's lovely, but I can do outdoorsy things, but please don't ask me to. I will drop you off. I will pick you up. And then I will go somewhere and read my book. But I like the winter. I think that people are very suggestible. And so everybody griping about the dark and the cold makes them think that like, oh, it's dark and cold.
It's like, we say what you focus on grows.
Right. It's like you get out of something what you expect. And so everybody's like, oh, it's going to be dark and cold. No. It's dim, but all the ambient light is reflected and it's pretty. And I mean, yeah, it's cold. We live in the subarctic. That's geography. But it doesn't matter how naked you get in Arizona, that heat will kill you. You can at least dress for the cold.
It is a dry cold.
It is that too.
It is a dry cold.
And it's not windy.
What do they say? There's never bad weather. There's just bad gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's all about
check
gear.
out her hat.
Some REI spokesperson cooked that up for sure. Wow.
No, actually, it's Scandinavian.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough. They probably did it before REI existed, so fair enough. What about yourself? If somebody's coming to Fairbanks, what do you think is relevant for them to know?
Coming in the winter.
Yeah.
Or the
Coming
summer.
in the winter.
In the winter,
I would say get a driving lesson.
Get a what?
Get a driving lesson.
Whoa.
That is solid.
Yeah.
That's why you're mayor and I'm not.
Well, I've seen a lot of accidents now,
Okay.
through the police department and stuff now. But
Yeah,
you just got to know how to drive on ice. You have to know when to read the road. Is it wet? Is it slick?
Wow.
Get the right tires. You got to plug in your car. There's a lot of maintenance that you have to do.
How fast you should or shouldn't follow people. How close you should or shouldn't follow.
Right?
Oh my
Because
God.
there's a big stopping. How you should not run red lights. Things like that. Well.
Well, look at that. It looks like all the time we have today. All right. Cool. Well, hey, Mindy, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Tanya. All right, cool.